Fazio.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to associate my comments with that of Senator Summers and also like to commend Senator Anwar on his leadership on this issue, the work of Senator Kelly, Senator Summers, and so many others from both sides of the aisle. This is truly a good bipartisan effort and good legislation that's thorough and thoughtful. Some of the measures are smart and immediate, and others are considerate studies about how we should act in the future. And sometimes one might think that studying an issue in state government is a punt, but in this case, it truly is the fact that we want to carefully get our head around one of the most important issues that's facing our society today, which is the degeneration of mental health, especially among young people. To a large degree, and for the most part, it's not as a result of state or federal policy. And the solution is not going to be a state or federal or government solution at all. But in areas of cognizance of the government, of the state government, especially schools, we certainly play a role to make things better. And I specifically wanted to stand in support of Section 6 of this bill. As Senator Summers said, it reflects the language of a bill that she and I submitted at the beginning of session to study the effects and the treatment of cell phone use and social media use on kids, especially in school settings. And the genesis of this policy idea, of this study idea, was in consultation with researchers and social psychologists, in particular the work of social psychologists that are nationally recognized, like Jonathan Haidt and Jean Twenge, and also a local researcher and member of the Board of Ed in Senator Summers' district, who did say that this could be a first-in-the-nation type study and initiative in order to understand the consequences of large-scale social media and cell phone use in schools. If you just think about it, such a large degree of a young person's life is spent in schools, and so the fact that a lot, especially in high school, that kids are constantly on their phones exacerbates the problems that they might be having off campus with the same things. It could degenerate actual academic achievement and learning in school, in addition to the problems it has socially and on mental health. It also dovetails with a conversation in a section we had about SB 6, the data privacy bill, and Section 12 in particular, that will study perhaps larger policy interventions that will look at, in particular, parental oversight of social media, age verification for minors on social media, opt-outs of data retention of children's social media use, which again, if you look at so many of the studies these days, if you look at a graph of self-harm, of anxiety and depression among young people today, the correlation with the proliferation of social media use, of the like button on Facebook, on the popularity of Instagram is uncanny. It's obvious that that the degeneration of mental health was not causing greater use of social media. I think the causal aspect of this is without question. And so this study looking at, in areas of cognizance for the state government, including schools, how positive policy reforms could improve mental health for children in the long run when we know these outside causes are persistent, are real, I think is a good policy intervention. And I thank, I'm grateful that it's included in this bill, which is a good bill and the result of thoughtful legislation, of thoughtful legislating and bipartisan compromise. So I likewise urge all my colleagues to support it as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Will you remark?